Welcome to the studio, it's Froyle here. I'm so glad you've joined me. Today we're making fabulous jelly prints with brand new stencils, creating some background papers with some new stamps, and we're making beautiful collage, of course. I hope you're going to join me. It's going to be a great day. Week 12 of 100 days of collage, and this week is our shapes week, and I'm so excited because I get to show you my brand new stencils and stamps and you can see what we've been creating with PM Artist Studio. So many fabulous new ways for mark making on your gel plate or just on your papers. I absolutely love mark making. I love taking the time to create the shapes and the textures that I want to use for my prints and my collages, but sometimes it just takes a little bit too long. So I painted up a few pages of brushstrokes, literal brushstrokes on paper, and sent them to Mariah at PM Artist Studio, and she made these absolutely fabulous stencils. I'm so excited. From the brushstroke series, this one's called Dashes, and it is literally dashes of paint strokes. But it makes it so quick and so easy for creating the marks on the paper, and there's just so many ways to use the stencil. This is a 5x7 size, there's also a 10x8 size, and a 9x12. I know, right? So many options. Now, I don't want to make you lazy, I want to help your life by saving you time and making things easier for you to create great art. Of course, the first thing I did was pull out the fabulous Stencil Butter because I absolutely love that it's beautiful, thick product straight out of the pot, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and I've got the 5x7 size of both the paint dashes and the intersection crosses, and I'm going to put some on these jelly prints that I was playing around with in the studio. I have a whole pile of prints that have had a couple of different layers, a couple of ink blots, some splashes, some overpainting, some roll-off sheets, all of those kind of prints that you look at and you go, it just needs a little something. So I'm going to put a little something with some black stencil butter on this sheet, and it doesn't really matter how it goes because I'm going to tear it up for collage anyway. So I think I'll see if I can put 2 stencils on this size paper, and then I'll have lots to use. Look how thick it is. It's just beautiful. Love the stencil butter straight out of the pot because I like fat art. I like it thick, I like it chunky, I like it plastered all over my paper, so it suits me to have it already thickened with some kind of acrylic medium. Straight on, super easy. Ta-da! And then it saved me all that time with those fabulous brush strokes. I mean, it is fun mark making with the brush strokes. It can be very therapeutic, but sometimes you just want to make it fast and you want it to be fun, and I'm loving these stencils. I'm so excited because what I like to do then is tear them up and put them in my collages as little pieces or highlights or just extra bits of texture and shape to something that needs just a little spot. And there you go, just like that, we're done. Ta-da, ta-da! The stencil's super easy. This is a 5x7, it's a great shape, and I can cut out all those bits, put them in my collage, or even use the whole sheet. That'll work fine too. What about we put some of the champagne gold stencil butter onto this one with the paint dashes, and we can do the exact same, put 2 sections of stencils and then use it in collage. So easy, so quick, so much fun. Ta-da! Oh man, I made it a little messy that time, but not to worry. We're going to use it for collage anyway. And we're mark making. It doesn't have to be perfect. The color's beautiful, the thickness is great. Sometimes if your paper's not sitting flat because, you know, it might have had a lot of loving, perhaps a few layers, some texture and some paint. If the stencil's not sitting flat, it might get a little smudgy, but don't let that worry you. It all works out really well in your beautiful mixed media collages. You just wait and see. Loving the gold, it's so glamorous. Beautiful. Right, so now I've pulled out the jelly plate. How very exciting. This is my big plate because our next fabulous size is the 10 by 8, which is this size. And look how glorious this size is. Oh no, that 5 by 7 worked so well for using straight with the palette knife onto textured or colored papers. I'll be able to use them in my collages. It makes me so happy. But now I'm going to bust out the gel plate and let's get a little bit dramatic with some jelly printing and see how these bigger sizes look. There is the 10 by 8 and the 9 by 12, which is very exciting because bigger's always better. Beautiful. Some black paint on the plate. Which one shall we try first? Doesn't even matter. Let's put the dashes on. And what are we going to pull it on? What about some of my beautiful Chinese rice paper? Let's have a look how glorious that's going to work. Now this first print, we're just going to see how glorious those paint dashes are all by themselves on this beautiful Chinese rice paper. Yay! Look how good that looks. They are just beautiful. That's going to make fabulous collage paper. Now, of course, we've got the glorious ghost print. We could wait for it to dry, but I'm so not good at waiting for things to dry. I'm going to put it on this. Is a roll-off sheet ghost print on wet strength tissue. So in my studio, I have piles of different papers in different stages, roll-off sheets and ghost prints and first prints and prints that need just a little bit of something. So when I sit down to the gel plate, I usually just pull out a few of those prints so I can add something else to them. It makes them so much better. It's so much fun, totally experimental, and you just don't know what you're going to get. Look at that. That's fabulous. Straight onto my ghost print roll-off sheet on my wet strength tissue. Looking beautiful. Love these marks. So we better have a look at the 10 by 8 intersection or crosses. Oh man, saves you so much time not having to hand paint them. Not that that's not fun, but you know, when you can do it this fast, it just makes things so easy. Right. Now I've got this particular print, which is an experimental print that's laying around. Oops, I don't think I put it on straight. Oh well, you get that. It'll be all right. This one's got some mark making on it. And I think it should look really good with these beautiful crosses. They're such a fun shape. It's all about intersections. It's all about the crossroads we come to in life and the choices we make. I know, it's always, everything I design is always really deep. I think it's just the moldy side. It just seems to be like that. Oh, yes. Look how fabulous that looks. That looks just awesome. I'm loving these stencils. I'm just cleaning up the shapes a little bit with a baby wipe because I didn't clean them out totally with the last print. I thought the print might have been a little fragile. It'd been printed a few times and I didn't want to tear my paper. So I didn't clean these out too much, but a little wipe with the baby wipe, get them all clean so that you can take the ghost print. And that's going to work really well. Look at that. That's just fabulous. So I'm going to put that on this copper. piece of wet strength tissue. It was basically, yes, it's a cleanup sheet. I know. I love cleanup sheets, especially on the wet strength tissue because they handle it really well. It's really strong and it can handle copious amounts of layers of the paint without tearing into pieces, which, sometimes ordinary tissue does. Let's see how good our ghost print is. Loving that so much. Now I can use sections of this print. I can tear out pieces and put in my collage. I love the grungy effect of it. Yay! That's looking beautiful. Should we go bigger? We do have one more size to test. Right, this time we're going with my favorite iridescent bronze fine. And we have the beautiful big size. Hello, look at that. 9 by 12 size in the dashes stencil and also the crosses. So much fun. What are we going to put it on? Well, that's going to be the question. Fill up the jelly plate with the glorious golden paint. Oh, look at the size of these marks. That's just beautiful. Put that on, and then I think I'm going to put 2 pieces on because I've got some beautiful white textured, perhaps it's rice paper. Not really sure, but it's beautiful and textured and white. So we're going to use that to take a print of these beautiful marks. I'm loving the size of them. I like the variety of being able to have all the different sizes, because sometimes you just want a little extra piece in your collage and you just need a piece of paper that's got something on it that you can tear off and add a little bit to. You watch, you'll see my collages from here on in. They'll have little dashes on them and crosses on them, and oh my gosh, so much fun. Right, so let's see how these printed. Love it. Just love it. Look at that. That's such a great mark. Yay. Just beautiful on the textured white rice paper. Look at the ghost print, all of that glorious gold. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes and then we'll pull it with, what about some permanent violet dark? I know. I know, it could be a little dramatic, but we'll see if we can get up the beautiful bronze. May not have been completely dry, but we'll see how we go. Right, now let's see if my beautiful wet strength tissue is worth the money. Is it going to hold up under the pressure of the paint? Well, it's looking pretty beautiful. You can't argue with that. Look how glamorous those beautiful marks are with the golden iridescent bronze fine and the permanent violet dark. Love it. Just glorious. But wait, there's more. There's always more. So we've done super big. Now we're going to do super small, and I'll show you the beautiful stamps. What I like about with using these stamps is that they make an incredible background page. You can cover the whole page with this pattern or this texture so easily. I'm just using basic tissue from the dollar store. I could then later spray the tissue with the different colors, whatever colors I like. It's really quite endless what you can do. Or you can tear out pieces from the tissue and put them into your collage as featured elements. Especially if something in your collage is not working or you're not happy with it, putting a little extra element onto the page can make a huge difference. That's what I did with this one, and I'm so much happier with it now. So while these pages are drying, I want to tell you about my latest art class on Skillshare. Creating art can be a life-changing experience as you connect with your own creativity and unleash your creative expression. There's just something so validating about creating something from the core of who you are as a person and seeing that materialize on the paper in front of you. In this art class, we're going on a creative journey using unconventional techniques on the Gelli plate to create beautiful atmospheric backgrounds and spectacular monoprints. I'm so excited about it because it's going to be so experimental, it's going to be so fun, and your creativity is going to soar with the courage and excitement of creating these beautiful prints. I'll be right there with you, right alongside you as we experiment using acrylic paint, alcohol inks, spray inks, and a combination of all of these mediums that don't usually go together. It could be a little messy, but it will be a whole lot of fun as you gain courage to stretch your artistic expression and experiment with unusual combinations of mediums. You will learn how to create prints using multiple layers, adding texture with different inks, and how to enhance your art with stamps and stencils. I'll also be teaching you how to add laser copy to your gel prints to create unique and stunning works of art. You can immediately use these skills to create beautiful and unique abstract artworks, and by the end of the class, you will have quite a few prints ready to use for collage, to put into other projects, or you may even have some ready and finished to frame. You're going to be amazed at how beautiful your prints are going to be. These techniques are simple while producing effective creative expression. And there's so much more opportunity for developing these techniques in your own artistic style. This could be a launch plate for you to open up a whole new door of creative opportunities. I'm really excited to work with you on this project, so let's gather our materials and let's make art. I now have 13 classes on Skillshare, and what I love about the Skillshare platform is your one subscription price covers all of my classes. You can watch 1 or 5 or all 13 for the same annual subscription. I think it's an absolute bargain. So have a look at my latest class. I know you're going to enjoy it. Very experimental, but a whole lot of fun. So look at all the fabulous prints with these beautiful stencils. I just love these marks, and it's so quick and it's so easy. Look how big these shapes are. They're from the 9x12, and this one is the 5x7. So you can see the size difference, which is absolutely fabulous. They're glorious in the wonderful Stencil Butter. Also, the white on white. I love white on white. This is actually a pearlescent Stencil Butter, but even straight white looks fabulous. I love to put it in my collages. It always adds such a beautiful texture. So that's going to work really well. That's just glorious. Now, this is a fabulous way to create more collage paper. It was a print that I did a few times, and then I added the crosses over the top. That's the kind of print that I added to this collage because I wasn't happy with that section, and this section needed a little bit of something. So it's so easy once you've got your papers all printed to just tear bits off to add to your collage. I think this is looking much better. It's still a little wet. I only just did it, but I'm much happier with that now. That worked really well. There's so many ways you can use these stencils. You can layer them on top of other prints. Look at that. That looks really cool. But then using them just by themselves as shapes works too. I could tear out rows from here and put them into collages. I could even just use a single piece because of the size that it is. Loving these sizes. I'm loving the variety of the sizes. Look at this. This is just a roll-off piece on paper packaging. Stencil are beautiful. Silver crosses on it, and then it becomes focal points for other mixed media artworks. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really love these new stencils and stamps. They're some of my absolute favorite marks and shapes, and now I've made it really easy for myself as well as for you to put them on paper, print them with the Gelli plate, or just stencil them straight onto the paper. It really doesn't matter. It creates such incredible collage fodder, or you can use them as a basis and build your Gelli print on top of it with other multiple layers of other different shapes and prints. You'll find the details in the description under the video. There's also a coupon code, so make sure you check that out for PM Artist Studio, because that's where you're going to find them. I'm also going to leave you with the playlist for the 100 Days of Collage in case you've missed any of the episodes, and I hope to see you again next time in the studio.